Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here in the house, and then we'll get into this. Mr. Max Voltage, good to see you, buddy. He says pump day for Flux up 25% in the last 24 hours. Hell yeah, we'll check that out in a minute. That's awesome. Good for you, man. Congrats. I need my BTC. What's up, man? Vinny, good to see you. Steven Cicero, as always, appreciate you. Squared Away Crypto, I don't think I've seen that name before, but I love it. That's awesome. Offshore Miner, good to see you. Shides, we have Nismo Miner, Offshore Miner. Anybody else I may have missed, I apologize, but let's get into this. All right, we got Bitcoin 59,373 bucks as of right now. Ethereum at 2518. Should we be worried about Bitcoin's price? If I could speak properly this morning, that would be nice. How bullish should you guys be? I've been hearing some talk about people thinking high 40s for a pullback on Bitcoin. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. I'm super interested to know like the overall consensus is of everybody. I honestly think it's just a lot of FUD BS, but hey, you know what? It could happen. Anything could happen in Bitcoin. All right, Solana 135 bucks, get 88.33 cents. Litecoin $66. We got DOT over here at $4.28. Dogecoin's at 10 cents. Let's see, ETC is back over 18 bucks today, 18.18 to be exact. Caspa at 16 cents, just about exactly. Not too bad. Near Protocols back under 4 bucks at $3.95. Bruh. Jeez. What in the hell? I should have took profits. No, it's fine. It's fine. We just buy more. That's what happens, you know. Let's see. Jasmine. We got almost 2 cents on Jasmine. Is anybody still holding Jasmine? This one went up pretty quick a while ago. I think it went up to almost 4 cents or so, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, nothing else really jumping out at me though over here. Let's check out Crypto Bubbles. See what we got. The biggest earner of the day seems to be 40 right here. 32.19, up 11.4% today. We got OM Mantra, that's their ticker. Really, Mantra is just under $1 at 99.5 cents. We got, let's see, Whiff Hat is up to $1.61, up 9.8% on the day. We have Sui up 7.7 to 82 cents. Let's see, Ave over here 9.2%, 133 bucks. We got Flow up on the day again, 59 cents to 7.7% up on the day. Sorry, man, I can't speak this morning. I need to drink this coffee. All right, let's see. Flashbang. Apologize. Fear and Greed Index. We're looking like a 26. Let me just refresh. Yep, still 26. Yesterday it was in fear, and today it's still in fear. Guys, best time to buy is when this needle is down. My opinion. Guys, do what you want. Not financial advice. Don't listen to people on YouTube. Just saying. All right, let's see. Top 10 coins over here by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lido Staked Ether, Dogecoin, and Tron Coin in 10th place. Sorry, just Tron. I don't know why I said Tron Coin. Tron in 10th place. $13 billion market cap. We have Ton Coin, which is in 11th place at a $13.1 billion market cap. Cardano's still in 12th place at 11.7. I guess the race is getting a little bit tighter. Interesting as things come down. Let's scroll down a little bit. Litecoin in 23rd place, 65 bucks. Near Protocol still in 25th place at $3.94. We got Caspa just under 16 cents over here, according to CoinGecko. $3.9 billion market cap. Man, are we gonna get a pump in Caspa or what? People sleeping on it? What's going on here? What is going on here? If anybody knows any big Caspa news, please let me know in the chat. All right, moving on to the mining segment of things. Let's see what we got over here on ASIC miner value. I'm gonna refresh this page. I don't know if I already did or not. Let's see. All right, so we got the AL1 Pro 16.6 terahash unit. Look at this. It is actually under 200 bucks as of now. It's $191 a day. 191.55 to be exact. Crazy. We got the AL1 15.6 terahash unit over here making $180 a day. Real quick, let's check out the pool or mining pool stats.stream. Let's see. Only 6 petahashes. Ant pool is actually way down. Man, they must have been doing crazy. So they did some more testing. Seems to be yesterday. A little bit. right? Went from 800 terahashes to up over 2 petahashes, back down to 800. Interesting. But F2 pool's been climbing like crazy, steadily climbing. Hero mine is steadily climbing. Interesting. So I guess we're gonna have to see what happens here. I guess we're gonna have to see. Everything else is just kind of whatever. Huh. Strange, very strange. I wonder how many people got their miners so far. All right, we got the KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit over here. This is a Caspa miner, obviously at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. You're making $21.72 a day. These profits are dropping very fast, very, very fast. We have the KS5 20 terahash unit over here making $20.69 a day. The Antminer L9 16 gigahash unit over here making $20 a day. L9, I want to see this thing do crazy. This thing's gonna do insane for profits. I have a feeling for the next 3 years. If the market appreciates in this bull run, I think we're gonna see some pretty good things come out of the L9. It's just my opinion, but right now I'd rather just buy the coin. It's just too pricey for me. That's my opinion. Let's see. Steven Cicero says F2 has a contest going on for a lithium. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense why they're in first place. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know, man. Next couple weeks we're gonna see this we're gonna see all these Bitmain miners come online, and I don't know, RIP lithium. I hope it does well, but who knows. Anyways, let's see. We got the Ice River KS5M over here, 15 terahash unit making $12.75 a day. The Gold Shell AL Box 2 Plus, actually I think I might be getting one of these. Shout out to Gold Shell. 1 terahash unit, 480 watts. The wattage kind of sucks compared to the KS0, I mean the AL0, but still making $10.93 a day as of right now. Let's check out real quick the price of lithium, because I don't know, and we'll check out the price of flux because I totally forgot. Let's see. Oh dude, I clicked the wrong one, didn't I? Nope. Sweet. All right, $1.95. That's not bad. It's still holding. It's only down like 5 cents or under 10 cents from yesterday, right? A little over 10 cents actually. I didn't realize it got up to $2.10, so about 15 cents down. I was actually on the first. Interesting. Not too bad though. Hey, listen, I honestly think it's an artificial price pump, just because, again, if you got a brand new car delivered to your driveway and the thing drove like shit, you ain't gonna be happy with that manufacturer. So if these Bitmain miners pop at your front door and the profits are in the toilet, people aren't gonna be happy and not want to purchase again. That's just kind of my overall how I look at it. I don't know. So I feel like they probably put some money into the market to get the price up, make people feel good, and then once they get all, you know, confirmations on delivery, they just dump it on you. Sorry, that's what happens. These guys can play games, so they got money. Ice River KS5L over here, 12 terahash unit, making $8.57 a day. Let's see the L7. You guys know I got mine down to Terra Hosting. Shout out to them if you want to pay 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Links in the description. This guy has been profitable throughout the entire bear market. 90.50 for gigahashes, right? So 9,050. $7.74 per day. If I was mining this in my house, it would be in the negative for sure, but as of right now, I'll take the $7-8 a day almost. Not too bad. Let's see. Gold Shell, where's the other one? AL Box 2, the original AL Box 2. When I say original, it was out like 2 weeks ago. We got 720 gigahashes, 360 watts over here, making $7.83 a day. I remember when this was making like $40 a day. Now it was like a month ago or so. It was making like $40 a day. What the hell happened? Bruh. It's freaking terrible. Freaking terrible. DJ, can you tell everybody in the chat what website that was again? I'm sorry. I think it was some Solana scanner or something. It's a scam website. Please don't go to it. Please don't. Just don't try not to type the hyperlink, but just type the name of it, I guess, if you can, and aware people, because he was letting me know that there was a scam going around. So I just want to make sure you guys are safe. Please be careful with Solana stuff and just crypto in general. You guys are gonna be on top of your shit. Don't just be sending money or clicking on things. You know what I mean? It's like walking in some random person's house and you go to these weird websites and start like picking shit up or opening doors. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's stupid. Please be careful. All right, over here, Gold Shell AL Box 1, 360 gigahashes at 180 watts, $3.92 a day. Yeah, that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough only because people paid like $9 grand for these units. Can you imagine that? 9,000 or 6,000. Scam site is solanastacker.org. Oh, it is that one. Oh, it is that one. Womp womp, dude. Damn it. Amplifier Gaming, is this the one you were talking about with Max? Oh shit, that's that 2% one we're talking. Man, damn. So it's the 2% one. All right, so if anybody's staking Solana, don't go to that site because it's a scam. That sucks. That really sucks. Please, like, if I can suggest anything, if you're gonna do staking stuff, just do it through an exchange that you're already using. Why are you gonna send it somewhere else to get like an extra nickel? Just please, like, it's awful. I hate when people get burned like that, but you have to learn. Like, you have to learn. It sucks, you learn the hard way sometimes, but please guys, just be careful. The gold shell EKA1M over here making hashes, 5.5 terahashes. We have the wattage at 1800 watts, and this thing's making $3.35 a day. I really wish this unit came out way sooner. If it did, they would have sold so many more units. So many more units. It's crazy. Crazy. I'd love to get my hands on one though. Let's see, what is this? Gold shell EDG1M. Oh, this is their other that's right, we talked about this the other day. They have 2 server rack miners now over on Gold Shell. 3.4 gigahashes, 1800 watts, $1.68 a day. Bruh. I gotta see how much that thing is. I gotta see how much that is. It can't be good. It can't be good.
Stop the cap.
We're not going to address that. We're just going to leave it alone. All right, we got the Jazz Miner X16Q. You guys know I got this thing in my solar trailer. I don't have it on right now, but it's 1.95 gigahashes. Yeah, Nismo. ROI never. Yeah, that's not a good machine to buy. I'm gonna be honest. Don't buy this one. That is not. No. Oh my god. They want $2,000 for that? No, I can't do it. Anyways, whatever. I love the server rack miners. They're sick, but like, I ain't spending $2,000 to make nothing on it. You know what I mean? It's my opinion. Oh my gosh, look at this. ICE over KS0 is 100 gigahashes, negative 2 cents a day. Where's the Pro? The Pro is only making 4 cents a day. If I didn't have solar, man, oh my god, I wouldn't even use these things. That's crazy. We got the KS3M over here, 6 terahash unit, making 21 cents a day. Bruh. Wow. That's really bad. That's really bad. We need an appreciation in Caspa hard for these machines to come back, right? I mean, you know, you guys can mine like Cedra and Bugna and all that stuff, but like, have fun with the wallets. That's, I don't know, that's why I'm not doing it. I serve a KS0 Ultra over here, 400 gigahashes, 100 watts, 32 cents a day. Bruh. God damn it, this is depressing. All right, moving on to GPUs. Let's see what we got over here. Zealous, top of the charts, the 170HX and Block X. They get a new logo. I don't remember that logo. Weird. And Xano. Holy shit. Xano and Block X. All right, looks like we're looking at that. What's? Oh, I forgot to look at Flux too. I will do Flux quick. Max said Flux had a 25% pump, and it did. Perfect. As of right now, it says 22.8%, 67 cents. I'm gonna be honest, fully transparent, I do not own any Flux. I sold it all. But good for you guys. If anybody's still into it, that's amazing. It's awesome. 55 cents to 60 something. Hell yeah. Just don't forget to take profits, people. Not that I don't know. I'm like, I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm neutral on this coin. Okay, on Flux. I don't care either way. But don't forget to take profits. What was I gonna look at? Xano over here. Man, it's a rough morning. I am exhausted. 7.6% up on the day. $6.27. Let's see. The 7-day, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good, man. This coin is just climbing. Like, look at this. Look at the 1 month. $2 all the way up. I keep saying I gotta look into this coin, and I still haven't. If anybody knows anything about this, please let me know. You know what? I'm gonna go to the website. I'm gonna open it so I have it. Why do they have freaking 10 websites? Technology, innovation, ecosystem, privacy pioneers, hybrid, proof of work, proof of stake, consensus, core performance. Interesting. Oh, I did go to this site before. I'm gonna leave it open though. I'm gonna leave it open now so I remember to read it. All right, let's move on. That's it. Consensus of the GPUs: Xano and Zealous and BlockX. I mean, there was some Chlor down here on the older stuff, but 600 XT actually. There you go. It's not a bad card. Chlor, how's Chlor doing? Chlor has been doing. I really wish they would get on Tangent, man, because I would 100%. I do want to hold some. I don't want to deal with wallets, like shitty wallets. I really don't. Man, what the hell happened here? That looks way worse than it is. It's like that was like 0.2 of a penny and it looks like it fell off a cliff. Oh my god. All right, let's see. 3 months. 3 months have been really bad for Chlor actually, but it is a friggin' platform and they do have actual utility, so to each his own. All right, moving on to the news segment of things. I got a lot of stuff I want to watch today, and I got to get out of here soon because it's my kid's birthday today. He's actually 4 years old, man. Time flies. Insane. My daughter starts school tomorrow. It's gonna be a shit show in the next couple days. It's crazy. All right, Bitcoin, where Trump and Harris stand on crypto. Let's see what they got to see. I believe this is Anthony Pompliano over on Yahoo Finance. Let's do it.
Bitcoin in the midst of 4 straight days of losses, with crypto becoming a major issue in this presidential election. Where can we expect the price to go from here? Joining us now for more is Anthony Pompliano, founder and CEO of Professional Capital Management. Anthony, it is good to see you. So you look at Bitcoin here, we're down about roughly 5% in August. We've kind of been trading in this range, Anthony, roughly 50 to 70,000 for months. What do you think breaks us out of this range, Anthony? Would you be looking to a Fed cut in September? Is it election volatility? What's on your radar?
I think there's 3 main things that will break us out. First is time. People are away for the summer. We kind of go sideways historically over the summer. When people come back, they sit in front of their computers and they start buying assets. And so I think that Bitcoin will be a beneficiary of that action. The second thing, obviously, is the Fed.
That is so true, and I'm bumping this up a little bit in case you guys think he's on speed. He's not. Only kind of is. 1.2.
Cut as cheap capital comes into the market. You should see some of that capital flowing into risk assets like Bitcoin for people on Wall Street, and you'll see price kind of break out. And then the third thing is I do think that if former President Trump is reelected, there's a lot of folks who are kind of looking at him as the pro-Bitcoin or pro-crypto candidate, and I would expect Bitcoin to rally on his reelection as well.
What would change your view on that, Anthony? If, we know, for example, that Harris and Walz have their first network interview this evening after announcing her campaign for presidency. What could she say in that interview that would make you think that she is the pro-crypto candidate?
I don't think anyone in the Bitcoin and crypto industry cares about words at this point. If you're sitting vice president, then you can do action, right? And I think that's really what people are looking for. And so if
I don't think anybody cares about words at this moment. They just want to see actions. That's pretty much it.
People believe that the current administration has been abrasive towards the industry. I think the most powerful thing that Vice President Harris could do is to start to take actions to support the industry, show rather than tell. And I think the same would be true if it was a Republican in office. At this point in an election cycle, both candidates are going to say a lot of things, but the average voter really can only take those words as perceived empty promises. And so the advantage that Vice President Harris has is she can not just talk, she can act. And so if she was able to take 1 or 2 different actions that showed she was becoming more sympathetic and kind of pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto, I think it would really help her election campaign.
Anthony, isn't that the...
Do you guys think that would help her election too? I think so, honestly. It would.
SEC, isn't that their purview?
I think that obviously regulators are a big piece of kind of what happens in the United States, but there's plenty of stuff that the president could do. Some of it could be via executive action. Some of it could just simply be coming out in support. One of the things that I don't think people have given enough credit for to former President Trump is he actually held a meeting with Bitcoin miners, and he sat and he listened to them. And so again, it was behind closed doors. It was attached to a fundraiser, so there was definitely incentives for him to do it. But sitting in a room and listening to these people is pretty powerful. My understanding is that there was recently a private meeting of crypto executives and some congressmen and senators that were on the Democratic side, and they wanted to talk about crypto, but Vice President Harris didn't attend. And so again, obviously politicians are busy. They've got a lot of stuff going on, but I think part of action could just be showing up and listening. And so, again, I do think that Vice President Harris has an advantage in that she's in a position to act, whereas former President Trump is kind of on the outside looking in. But let's see what happens. We're still 2 months or so away from the election.
I'm curious, Anthony, when you're talking to friends and family, and maybe they're curious about investing in Bitcoin, what do you, and they're asking you why they should, what do you tell them, Anthony? What's the reason? Is it for the trade, store of value, medium of exchange? What's the reasoning?
It's actually a really good question.
Usually I just ask them, do you think the dollar is going to be worth more or less in the future? Almost no one I've met thinks that the dollar is going to be stronger in the future from a purchasing power standpoint. And so immediately they start to think, well, where can I go to get some sort of economic security for the hard-earned wealth that I've been able to accumulate? And there's many assets that you can go buy. You can go buy gold, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy real estate, you can buy stocks. And so each person's situation is different. But I do think that there is a cohort of people and a growing cohort, hundreds of millions of people around the world. They want something that is a store of value that leverages sound money principles. It's an asset that's outside of the legacy financial system. No one can create more of it. But also they don't want kind of the existing physical gold, which is simply kind of trading sideways. Gold just hit a new all-time high, but it's only up 50% since 2012. And so you can think of Bitcoin as gold with wings. It gives you that same downside protection, that same kind of purchase power protection, but it also has the asymmetry of an asset that is compounding over that same time period at about 62% compound annual growth rate for the last 10 years.
Gold with wings.
That's crazy. That's crazy. 62% compounding. That's insane. I
need that on a t-shirt, Anthony. That's going.
Like
Let me ask you this. What about ETF adoption? Just switching gears a bit here. I'm curious to get your take on the launch. Flows have actually been relatively strong, Anthony, even when you see price declines. What does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, people want access to this asset. What's unique about Bitcoin is historically technologies are adopted by kind of militaries first, then countries, then corporations, and then individuals. Bitcoin has been the reverse of that. We have seen the individual adopt it first. Eventually, we got some corporations and financial institutions, and the promise is that we're eventually going to get, countries and militaries to participate as well. But I do think that right now, as we see those financial institutions, those corporations, and kind of larger family offices want to allocate to the asset, the ETFs provide a really low-cost, liquid way to do that. And so they're going to continue to buy. Now, of course, prices go up and down based on buyers and sellers. And so there's more sellers than buyers, but that doesn't mean that the folks who want the ETF are going to, go away. It just means that there's more people selling than buying, and maybe they're selling in the spot market while these folks are going and buying the ETFs.
To what extent, Anthony, do you worry about government sellers of cryptocurrency? For example, we saw that this was a headwind for the price of Bitcoin when Germany was selling off their holdings a little bit. Is that something that investors should be looking at moving forward?
Imagine being able to tell your grandchildren that you bought Bitcoin sold from a government. That's what I think. And so if the governments are going to sell it, I think people are scrambling to be the ones to buy it. Historically, the Bitcoiners have usually talked about things like, hey, don't be the Bitcoiner that sells your Bitcoin to Wall Street. Don't be the Bitcoiner that sells your Bitcoin to a nation state. But now when these governments go and they are offloading Bitcoin, somebody's on the other side of that trade. And so while it's somewhat of a meme, it's somewhat of a kind of funny conversation, I do think that there's a lot of people who say, hey, if these organizations, these nation states have Bitcoin and they're going to sell it, I would love to be on the other side of that trade. And so there's a persistent bid. Obviously, hundreds of millions of people around the world believe that these sound money principles in digital form are very valuable. There is a very strong holder base of Bitcoin. More than 50% of Bitcoin hasn't moved in over a year. And I think that this asset will continue to do that for the years to come.
All right. Anthony Pompliano, thanks so much.
Amazing. Shout out to Mr. Anthony Pomp over there. All right. Investors should add to September weakness if we get it. Let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC television. This is kind of going over all the stock stuff.
For all of this as we set ourselves up post what for many people was a vacation week. Stephanie Link, Hightower Chief Investment Officer, she's a CNBC contributor. School is back in session, and so are the markets. Stephanie, what are you doing?
Dude, you know what? My brother-in-law, their kid started school, I think it was like the 15th of August. That should be a criminal offense, putting kids in school that early. It's insane. Well, like they just took away like half the summer. I was like, why are they going to school so early? It's crazy. But man, I can't believe school's already starting for my daughter. First year of kindergarten tomorrow. It's crazy.
Good morning. I'm buying. I was adding last week to a few names in Broadcom, in CrowdStrike, in Chipotle, and I think you want to be adding to...
Every time I hear the word Chipotle, I remember my wife reading the sign, and she looks at it and she goes, wow, there's a lot of people in Chipotle, huh? It's like it's not called Chipotle. Oh, it's so funny.
To stocks on weakness if we get it, and today we're getting it a little bit. September should be likely a little bit volatile, and I think you want to use that weakness to be adding. I mean, we got through two big hurdles over the last couple of weeks, Andrew. We got through Jackson Hole. We had a very dovish Fed Chair Powell, and then we got through NVIDIA, which was actually quite good. I know it sold off on the news, but the numbers were really good. The AI boom continues, and so in the meantime, you have the economy growing. We had a GDP second quarter that was revised higher to 3%. The Atlanta Fed tracker for the third quarter is at 2.5%. You had pretty good PCE on Friday, and so I think all that translates into pretty good earnings, and so that's why I want to be adding to weakness if we get it.
You said you think this is going to be a bit of a choppy period. We always wonder how choppy it's going to be.
Yeah.
When you think about both the number we're going to get on Friday and also overlay the election, that's what we were talking about earlier in terms of, I said there was going to be there's a sprint from Labor Day to Christmas. Joe said there's a sprint for 68 days with the sprint to the election in the middle. It's the intermission.
63 days.
It's the intermission.
I'm going to pump this up to 1.2. Sorry. I actually forgot to do that.
Of the big show. So how does that matter or not in your mind right now to how equities are moving?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you are going to see some choppiness over the next couple of months. But again, if I look at kind of what the economy is doing, the economy has been resilient. I mean, this is an economy that just won't quit. And if you look at a lot of the data that I just mentioned, in addition to kind of GDP and the revisions there, you've had ISM services that have actually been good. The new orders within ISM services have been very strong. And the employment numbers, by the way, within the ISM services has been actually better than expected. I think Friday is going to be fine. I think we get, maybe we get a little bit of chop on the news, but I think overall we are growing. If we're growing 2.5% in the economy, earnings can actually be 8 to 10%. And you can see it broadening out. We are starting to see it broadening out in the markets, which is very encouraging, Andrew. I mean, this morning you've had a whole slew of upgrades in some of the banks. I mean, the bank sector, they're trading like 1 times book, and they have great dividends, and they have good capital. And so that's a sector that I really like. Industrials I really like because you have this whole renaissance going on with onshoring, reshoring. Right. The consumer is choppy, mixed, but I think you have some winners and losers. Winners are Target, Walmart, and Costco. Everybody else, I think there are some issues there, but I think you can pick and choose.
Give me the tech AI story in your mind right now, because I think that there's still it feels like such a jump ball at this point.
I know. No, I mean, I don't think it's a jump ball. I think the stocks have actually had such a nice run. So it's hard to, the risk reward is not great. But I do think that you're still in very early innings. You've got a total addressable market of like $1 trillion. I thought it was very interesting last week. Marvell reported a good number, and it was their AI business was good, but it was their non-AI, the cyclical businesses that are starting to see a recovery. That's why I like Broadcom. I don't want to play it for the quarters per se, but I do think if you have AI and the AI orders are running up something like 200% for Broadcom. And then you have now the cyclical part, the non-AI business, which Marvell just told us was actually recovering. That business for Broadcom, their orders grew 30% last quarter. So I think that there are ways to play it. I think you definitely want to have exposure, and if you want to use the volatility to be adding to those names.
We're going to hear from Apple about a week from yesterday, in terms of Monday next week, with their new product offering, the new phones and everything else. Do you buy into?
They have new phones coming out. Jesus.
The sort of whatever you think the Apple move is going to be ahead of that? Do you wait to hear what you're going to see? Do we pretty much know what we're going to see?
Dude, it's crazy how Apple controls everything. There's just the amount of phones that are created on this planet. It's wild.
Well, the stock is up 30% from May. And so actually, I've been trimming Apple. I like it really a lot for the long term. But I do think that the expectations are a lot higher. I do think you are going to see a whole refresh cycle. But I don't know if it happens right away, Andrew. And while it might be exciting what we hear about for the long term in terms of AI and in the phones and the refresh, but I'm not sure we're going to get a lot of answers next week, and the stock has run quite a bit. So that's why I was kind of taking some profits. Everybody hated this thing, right, in the spring, and that's when I was adding to it. And so now people, are really jazzed up about it, and I think it's time just to take some chips off the table.
A little bit like Buffett. The Buffett took him off earlier. Buffett actually took him off back in May, in fact. So he missed a little bit of that upside. We'll see where things land. We'll call you Mrs. Buffett this morning.
All right, shout out to them real quick. I was looking for this. All right, it's pretty blurry, but every time a new phone comes out, I think of this meme, mobile device size evolution, and it shows 1990 how big it was, and then how they got stupid small into the 2000s. In 2005, it's because we realized we could watch prawn on them. And yes, I said it wrong on purpose, but It's just every time I think of a new phone coming out, I just wonder how big it's actually going to be because of that meme. All right, an economy will grow if there's more people working with more money in their pockets. Let's see what they got to say over here. Again, CNBC television, I'm going to bump it up to 1.2. Let's do it.
Our next guest is going to weigh in on the 2024 presidential race, the state of the economy, and more. Joining us now, Saul Trujillo Group founder and chairman. He's chairman of the Latino Donor Collaborative, co-founder of the annual Latino Showcase, which I've attended, Latitude, back in San Diego, same place.
Absolutely.
This year, great place to have it.
San Diego.
Yes.
Wear white pants in San Diego.
You can definitely wear white pants. We were talking
Just
about
to be
white
clear.
too. So I am, you know what? I said I'm going to be curious. That's the way you start a lot of your questions, because you're curious about a lot of things. And I'm curious with Saul, because I have been under the impression that conservative movements, or not necessarily Trump, but the Hispanic community since 2016 has been moving to the right. You're going to come right now and say that in terms of this binary choice that people are faced with in this election, that you think it's an easy choice to pick Kamala Harris.
Well, I don't think I've said that, but
okay.
Let me be clear.
You say Trump's going to crash the economy, so
what I said was he will crash the economy if he goes forward with deporting 10 million people.
Oh, so it's specific to that.
As he has said numerous times.
Could he do that? I mean, do you think that that's something that could actually be done?
Well, Obama deported 3.5 million.
He did.
Okay. So, I mean, he's not on my most favorite list either, because I think that is, if you look at the history, modern history of our economy, those presidents, starting with Reagan, followed by Clinton, they had the highest GDP growth rate, 3.5% over 16 years.
Okay.
And since then, and the drivers were labor force growth rate plus supplemented by immigration. Those are the highest. And there's a common sense point that I like to make with people. And I say to business school deans, don't ever forget that an economy will grow if there's more people working with more money in their pockets. You can talk about technology, which is where I've spent most of my life. That's associated with productivity, but the core growth is spending in this economy, and we need more workers working.
So is there a way to do it where you secure the border so that it's not illegal immigration, and you open up immigration for more legal people? Isn't there somewhere in the middle where it's just not?
Yeah. I've been frustrated by both Republicans and Democrats. I'm still a registered Republican.
Interesting.
But my point is that on immigration, we need more workers. We talked about onshoring, from China and other places. Well, we can't do it because we don't have any workers.
Would you not close, or would you not try to secure the border, though?
Yeah, secure. But there's ways to secure it, looking for the bad people, the criminal people. There's records, there's Interpol, there's all kinds of databases that So we spend our time talking about what I would call the extraneous matters.
Yeah.
The big thing is, how do we process more properly and smartly? Because we need workers. So the question is can we get more workers that have skills that we can put to work in our economy?
Wait, so is this guy just saying that we just want to stop like the bad illegals from coming in? Is that what he just said? Isn't it like the whole point to like stop people from coming here without proper paperwork? I don't know. What?
Secondly, those that are not ready, they don't have the skills, that we put them into training programs. There's a company called Accenture that used to only hire college graduates. Now they hire people and they train them, high school graduates, and they train them for the jobs that they have. So the economy has evolved, and we have to understand it. But I call it smart immigration, which says you process people much faster than decade-long kind of processing.
So what's the cost of doing this, in your mind?
The cost is a lot lower than what we're doing today with all this building walls and all the things that don't work. We've already proven walls don't work, right? And
have we, though?
And so the question now is just the right IT system.
Didn't it work at one point? What is happening right now? I am so whatever. Just
get the right people that understand how to do it.
As long as you have people pouring over the border who are not supposed to be here, what are you doing about that?
You put in place the processes where they can get through in a way where they're sorted out, those that shouldn't be coming in,
right,
and those that can. It's like if you ever went to Disneyland 20 years ago and you saw the long lines, 3-4 hours to get into it, did Disney say, no more, we're not going to take any more customers? Or did they fix their process of being able to process more people in a short period of time?
And you think you can do that more cheaply? I mean, you think that's actually less expensive?
Less expensively than what we're doing today, because we're just throwing money at, quote, security, and it's not changing the problem that's there. People do want to come here. We need workers, and we need to get the right workers and put them into our system, because we're not, there was a study done by Accenture that said there's probably 25 to 30 million onshoring jobs that are available to us. But if we don't have workers, how can we onshore? So now everything's going to nearshore. What's everybody going to complain about? Well, all the jobs are in Mexico and other countries. And
no, we have workers here. It's just, I mean, I'm going to be honest, Americans are lazy. Some Americans are lazy and they just collect, and it sucks. Like that's half the problem. You're paying people to stay home and do nothing.
We didn't get them. Why? Because we weren't using our minds in terms of solving the real immigration problem, which is processing people, sorting out the people. It's a database issue.
I can't believe you're not going to come on here and brag about the Hispanic contribution to the U.S. economy, because that's what we do at Latitude, and it's always mind-boggling, the numbers that you come up with. It's like the 4th biggest economy in the world or something. Give me some of the. It's continuing, is it not?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and this is part of the immigration story. But the punchline is, last year we announced that the Latino cohort is now bigger than India in terms of GDP. And I can tell you in a couple of weeks.
That's a frightening.
No,
fact.
but it's the power
right.
of immigrants that came here, a lot of them. My family's only been here since the early 1500s. So when a guy like Donald Trump says, you know, my country, this is my country, and you know, he's a 3rd-generation German immigrant, right? So this is a country that has evolved. And you know, Benjamin Franklin used to argue against immigrants, and he was an immigrant way back when. But we've had these arguments. But let's get smart about how we do it. Smart immigration is really where. But the Latino cohort is huge, and it's growing. And when we announce the next study, I spent time with the economists last week, it's going to be gobsmacking.
Well,
Crypto KJ said this guy looks like the little inspector dude from the Pink Panther. Kind of does. All right. Anyways, let's see. Brazil banned X, actually, apparently. And did you guys see Elon tweeted, what's it called? He tweeted a thing that said, like, the VPN companies, like, once Brazil banned X, and it was the guy from Breaking Bad, like the Yule guy, the big black dude just laying on a big pile of money. Did you guys see that? It was so funny. All right, let's watch this. Actually, you know what? I want to open this one. I'm going to pause this one, and we'll watch this one after. Because I like seeing... if I can pause it, I'd like seeing what's it called, Tom Lee. All right, let's move on. Let's do it.
Brazil's Supreme Court upholding a ban on social media platform X. It had shut down access for some 20 million users. And join us right now with the latest on this story. Tim Higgins, the Wall Street Journal business columnist, also a CNBC contributor. He's been following Elon Musk for years. And this, of course, raising a lot of ire and eyeballs over the weekend, or maybe lack of eyeballs given the cutoff. But what is the latest? Where do things stand? And what does it mean not just for X, but also for Starlink and SpaceX?
Yeah, well, the decision was upheld yesterday. So at this point, you can't look at X in Brazil unless you're using a VPN, which Elon Musk has been encouraging people to do. That allows you to circumnavigate I
don't know if he's been encouraging it, but he definitely did that meme. And he does. Michael Carr said Elon has a weapon grade of trolls. He really does, dude. It's so, all the trolls he puts out are so funny.
The ways that they're blocking it down there. And so it's kind of a standoff at this point. Elon spent the weekend really throwing a lot of tweets at the situation, which probably doesn't help him in the courts down there. But he's kind of made his bet at this point.
From your vantage point, having reported the story out and looked at some of the legal issues in Brazil, who is in the right? And the reason I ask this is there's been criticism of Elon before where people said, look, if Turkey tells him to shut something down, he shuts it down. If China tells him to shut something down, maybe he shuts it down. I don't know. In this case, he's fighting it. Now, my understanding is he's fighting it because he believes the law is on his side. Is it?
Yeah, that's you hit on this interesting thing. I call it the Musk doctrine. And in places where there are strong men, strong leaders, where he has incredible business opportunities, such as China, he seems to be more deferential to that leadership. Brazil is a unique case here. His businesses, SpaceX, the Starlink satellite system that he has been finding success in the rural parts of Brazil. And so he has some future potential business growth in that market, but he seems to be taking a principled stand. He's making the argument that X will follow the laws of the lands where it operates. So places like China, it's not going to do what it does in the U.S., for example. But Brazil, he says, the government there is essentially breaking its own laws by asking X to silence political speech. And that's kind of the case he's making. It hasn't gone far. It's another market. I'm no legal expert there. But that's kind of where we're at, is he's essentially making the case that he is being asked to break the law, and he doesn't want to do that in Brazil.
Okay. We also talk about just how intertwined the octopus of Elon's very many businesses and the success he's had, obviously, creating so many of them, but how intertwined they have become insofar as here you have an issue with X that's now interrelated with Starlink, which, of course, is interrelated with SpaceX. So you could have an investor on the private side, in both cases private, though there are some public mutual funds that are invested in both, in X, that are going to be impacted by folks who are in Starlink or vice versa.
Yeah, it's to me, it's one of the first real concrete examples where his efforts in X, his crusade on free speech, is affecting his other businesses. The idea that his Starlink accounts have been frozen in Brazil, that business is essentially operating, not being able to take in revenue, is an escalation.
Oh, wow, they froze Starlink too. That's some BS.
Of kind of the way he is operating in another part of his life. Investors, until this point, and they seem to still be kind of being patient there, have been giving him a lot of rope, allowing him to go do his things with X because Tesla, because SpaceX, they see great potential there, great returns. And that's been kind of what we've seen over the last few years as he has increasingly become more involved in X. Become more outspoken, taken more controversial positions.
Do you think these things relate to will relate back to Tesla, though? I mean, Tesla's the big one because it's a publicly traded company because there are a lot of retail investors involved.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Tesla isn't in Brazil. It's a classic market for automakers to expand in. It's hard to imagine Tesla getting into Brazil in the near term because of this.
That's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Mr. Crypto KJ, Elon tweeted this: super easy to use VPN if a website is restricted in your location. He's obviously not talking about Twitter or X. It's so funny. Dude, he tweets so much a day. I didn't realize how much he tweets. All right, let's see what Tom Lee's got to say over here on CNBC television.
Joining us now with this call.
Actually, could you guys hit that like button? That'd be amazing. 30-something likes. That's it. Killing me.
For the markets on the first trading day of September is Tom Lee, managing partner and head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors, as well as a CNBC contributor. And all along, Tom, when you've made these prescient calls, some of them even short term, it had to do with positive surprises on inflation. And is that going to be enough from here on out to keep the market headed higher, or have we shifted to growth worries now?
I think there's probably more growth worries in people's minds these days. So the jobs reports and claims seem to have more market reaction. I think that's going to be the case in September as well. I mean, we have the Fed meeting sort of in the middle of the month, but this week is the jobs report. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of focus on that.
Right. So
Crypto KJ told me I had to show you guys this one. Elon Musk tweeted this too. But if you do use a VPN for protection, smash or pass.
What kept you positive was that the numbers were always, for the market, they were better than people were thinking. Is that going to continue to be the case? But it's no longer inflation, it's now growth. So growth will continue pretty good. Jobs will continue pretty good. You're not worried about another growth scare like we had 6 weeks ago?
Yes, I think that the growth scare is what everyone's worried about, because the July jobs report was kind of a shock to markets, and that's part of how we had that Tokyo Black Monday. I think this jobs report for August is going to show a nice rebound for growth in jobs. Hopefully it's not too strong, because, of course, as you know, if it's too strong, people are going to worry the Fed might backpedal on a September cut.
So where does that leave you in terms of what is seasonally, Andrew just alluded to it, September's not great, and we know, I mean, we always make lows in October, or we have many, many times, which means usually a lot of times September was not great.
I think investors should be cautious for the next 8 weeks. September.
Next 8 weeks, be cautious.
Yes.
You're not always cautious.
That's right. When the market's been up 7 of the 8 months this year, so we know it's an incredibly strong market, but we also have the September cuts and we have the election, things that'll get people nervous. I think in the next 8 weeks, people get a chance to buy. So I think it's good to be cautious, but just ready to buy that dip.
You have, because you're fearless and you'll say anything, you have in the past actually talked about election-related trades and Trump trades. And did you see anything going on now that indicates anything to you? Bitcoin hasn't been acting very well.
Yeah, Bitcoin hasn't acted well. The two things we're watching to sort of look at how election probabilities are weighed is Bitcoin and energy. I think the fact that oil is being weak, even with some geopolitical risks, tells me I think the market is starting to bet more on a Trump election. But
because there'd be more production.
More production,
bad
yes.
for price, which is not necessarily the way that you might think about things, because we hear about, we're at records for oil production. No one realizes the reason we're at records in this country is because prices were so high that it caused a lot more drilling and activity. And the prices were high because it's harder to drill without and LNG and everything else the Biden administration did.
Yeah, that's right. So people think oil should be higher here because of for many reasons, but oil's been weak. So I'd say that that's probably the market.
China too, though, isn't it?
Yeah, China's becoming a bit more mysterious, right? There's even risk maybe of negative GDP there.
Okay, so the next, and funny you said 8 weeks. It's almost exactly 8 weeks, I think. What's that? It's like 63 days or so. So some uncertainty and caution going into the election, but in your view, people should get long.
I think they'll get a chance to buy long, yeah. So I think this is one of those where investors need to be cautious, but in the back of their minds know this is a strong market.
How far down? 10%?
I think that 7 to 10 is a possibility. And we've already had 2 7% corrections this year. So it's it's been testing investors' patience. Damn. But I think, we should expect turbulence.
And then
said another 7 to 10%.
Question, of course, is when the turbulence comes, is it a buy the dip always?
I think
or is there going to be and by the way, buy the dip at when it goes down by 2 or 3%, or you really actually have to wait for a 5, 6, 7% pullback?
I think
when people are screaming and running, that's when you buy.
1 or 2 is just almost like daily noise. This market has shown, pullbacks like that. So I think something like a 5% pullback is very likely, but I think we need.
And are you waiting for that?
Yeah, I think it. You know what? We'll find out this jobs report because, like, if it's too strong and investors worry, and so the stock market's down Friday, I would be buying that dip. But there's a chance that we get a good jobs report and the market's up. I hate to sound so binary, but I think I just say at the bottom line is it's a strong market. So I don't think this is. We've seen the top for 2024. It's just that the next 8 weeks are tougher.
Facts. Shout out to Tom Lee. He's awesome. DJ said 7 to 10% for stocks is so much bigger for crypto. Yeah, it's very true. Very, very true. All right, moving on to the videos of the day. Let's pump through this. I'm gonna bump this one up as well. This is Lark Davis. If you guys don't know who he is, go check him out. Let's do it.
The sky is falling. Sell everything. No. Bruh. Hold your horses. There is hope. There is another.
Is there
fear, anger, aggression lead to the dark side, do they? Look, in 1998, economists and analysts were expecting recession due to the Russian and Asian financial crises. But surprise, surprise, the USA in that time was able to avoid an economic meltdown, at least for a while. The Fed, believe it or not, was actually able to stabilize the economy. And as a result, the US experienced continued growth. Markets boomed. Dot-com bubble played out. Should we expect a similar miracle in 2024? AI bubble playing out? Stick around till the end. You can decide for yourself. So let's dial back a bit in history. What happened in 1998? I know this is ancient history for some of the younger viewers. I was a teenager back then, so I wasn't paying attention. Markets getting high, man. But let's take a back step back in time here, okay? 2 years before the start of the new millennium, the global economy is rocked by the Russian and Asian financial crises. It was the end of the world again. In Russia, the crisis began in August 1998 when the government devalued the ruble and defaulted on its debt, leading to a severe economic downturn. Meanwhile, in Southeast Asia,
that lady's holding Stoli and he's holding bread.
While in Southeast Asia,
we're just gonna drink booze and eat bread.
Thailand faced a severe financial crisis that began with the devaluation of its currency. The crisis quickly spread to other countries in the region, causing economic instability across several nations. It was, a crazy time, man. Surprisingly, the U.S. economy was able to thrive during this period. Now, fast forward to 2001, the dot-com bubble had burst, ending the U.S. economy's decade-long massive expansion. This led to, of course, gigantic losses for investors and a sharp decline in technology stocks in particular. Adding to the economic woes, the tragic events of the 9/11 attacks further shook the nation, the economy, and the markets, pushing the U.S. into a deep, dark recession. Markets got tanked hard. Today, analysts and economists are debating whether right now we are in 1998 or we're in 2001, aka we still have a lot of fuel left in the tank, or it's the beginning of the end. Repent now. Bearish indicators like the SOM rule, the inverse yield curve, they are clearly warning us of a potential economic disaster. Stormy skies ahead. However, there's also another side of the story. Some indicators say that we are not yet done with this bull market cycle. You still could have a few chances to extract money out of the markets before everything goes to hell in a handbasket. Now, real quick, before we dive into those things, the markets
Gonna shill it.
Get out. Now, despite all the fear surrounding the economy, the stock market has proven to be surprisingly resilient. It's pretty crazy. As of August 2024, the S&P 500 ended just below its record high and is now up at 19.09% year to date. The S&P 500, of course, is the barometer of the country's economy, and this impressive performance is indicative of investors' confidence in how the market is doing. This is the same scenario in 1998, despite the global financial crises that were playing out at the time. Yen carry trade of 2024, anybody? Anyway, the U.S. stock market showed remarkable resilience. The S&P 500 gained 26.67% in 1998. Hot. Another positive development, of course, is the actions or expected actions from the Federal Reserve. For the longest time, the Fed has maintained a steady approach to interest rates, keeping the target range of the federal funds rate of 5.25 to 5.5% since July of 2023. However, the Fed's higher for longer approach is about to end. Inflation has eased substantially over the past year, is now closer to the Fed's target of 2%. unemployment is rising. The Fed needs to deal with that, which is why they have to start cutting rates. Fed Chair Jerome Powell himself has said that the time for interest rate cuts has come. Because of these positive developments, traders are now pricing in the possibility of a rate cut this September at almost 100%. Lower interest rates will make it cheaper to borrow for business expansion and to invest, of course, in risky assets like stocks and crypto. Back in 1998, the Federal Reserve under Alan Greenspan stabilized the economy by cutting interest rates in September, October, and November. It is uncanny that we also expect the first Fed cut this September. Will it be followed by a few more? Who knows, but the markets are expecting that we could see up to 100 basis points of cuts this year. And it was certainly bullish if that happens. The U.S. economic growth also shows some promising performance. The gross domestic product has increased at an annual rate of 3% in the second quarter of 2024. Where's the recession, man? Where's the recession? GDP growth at 3%. Get out of here. We have to remember the textbook definition of recession, of course, is 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. We're not even near that, not even close. And I know that they've changed the way that they define that, but still, it's not here. In comparison, in 1998, the U.S. economy surprised everybody with an annual GDP growth rate of 4.5%. Let's talk about jobs. So jobs, man. Unemployment rate's the big story of the day. The U.S. job report, of course, crucial part of the economy. Jobs put money in the hands of consumers, who in turn give it back to the economy by spending, and who give it to the government through taxes. Okay.
Big circle.
To be honest, the latest job report could be better. According to the August 2nd Bureau of Labor Statistics, or BLS report, the unemployment rate is up to 4.3% in July from 4.1% in June. In comparison, in 1998, the unemployment rate was ranging from 4.3 to 4.6%. That's interesting, isn't it? The sky wasn't falling back then. The silver lining is that the percentage is not all that different, right? The U.S. economy was fine in 1998. It might actually just be fine today unless we see a massive surge in unemployment moving forward. The doom callers will tell you that it's going to happen, and maybe they're right, but so far it hasn't. So to put this together, it seems like we could be potentially staring down a repeat of 1998, wherein despite all the doom and gloom, the U.S. economy is still able to grow and thrive, and we could see the AI boom be equivalent to the dot-com boom, pushing us into a final rally for the market. Now, I know you're going to say,
wouldn't that be amazing? I bet that'll happen too.
Hey, but Lark, what about the SOM rule? What about the inverse yield curve? A ticking time bomb. It's uninverting right now. The expectation of a recession 6 to 18 months after the last Fed hike. Well, we're almost up to the 18-month mark on that. Plus, there's wars everywhere all the time. South China Sea. Have you seen what's going on in South China Sea, man? Come on. People in bushes, man. Well, those are very valid arguments. We can also say that usually an election year is also a bullish thing. And if Donald Trump wins, the crypto market could potentially benefit from his policies and make new highs. Also, don't forget that if this is 1998, then 1999 is coming, which will be the market peak. You need to sell, run away, and don't look back for a couple years. The thing is, there's always 2 possible scenarios. The trick to investing is learning how to manage your risk, to have contingencies in case the crap hits the fan, because every so often the crap does hit the fan. Okay, you have to be ready for that. Have cash on the sideline to be able to invest during those times. I'm a big believer in crypto, of course. The 4-year cycles continuing to play out, probably. So I think the bull run still has one last hurrah before everything falls. I've got a deeper video coming out in a few days to keep an eye out for that. But I'm also a realist. I know anything is possible, and for all we know, the recession starts next week, right? I plan to take profits once in a while, even though I believe we haven't reached the peak yet. When we get some nice pumps, time to take some money off the table just to be safe. Think of it as reverse dollar cost averaging, right? The goal here, capital preservation, because you never know when the bad times are going to come. I know it's been kind of bad times in crypto this year, but not for stocks. I might miss some gains, but it's about staying in the game. It's about surviving, right? Don't get me wrong. The bear market will come, but the question is when and how severe. The recession will come. The question is when and how severe. It always does. It's a more part of the business cycle. Just make sure that when we do get the next big rally in the market, whenever that is, that you take some money off the table and you prepare for bad times in the markets.
What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be bullish throughout 2025 after the election and all that? Or do you guys think we're going to see like a sharp decline after the run up at the end of this year? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Super interested to know. All right, 5 big reasons Bitcoin price is about to explode. Let's see what he's got to say over here on Mr. Altcoin Daily's channel. Let's do it.
We believe it's so important to be anticipating the next move.
I believe Bitcoin is legitimate.
Capital is moving, and it's going to move very rapidly.
Bitcoin explodes in the next 4 to 6 months for a few different reasons.
Hello, Bitcoiners.
That's my opinion. You will make money in crypto if you watch this video. I hope.
Bitcoin should easily double just on that.
Let's go through point by point. Smash the like button. Comment your opinion on the topic below. Subscribe to Altcoin Daily for daily crypto content keeping you informed. Make sure you watch today's whole video. I have a shocking clip to play you at the end.
What we have embarked upon here today for this industry and for the world as a whole will be as meaningful, in my view, as the American Revolution was to the world in the 18th century.
So, why is Bitcoin's price going to explode in the next 4 to 6 months? First, Fed rate cuts starting in September. The Fed has signaled they will start cutting rates in September, probably 25 basis points.
The question will be whether the totality of the data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks are consistent with rising confidence on inflation and maintaining a solid labor market. If that test is met, a reduction in our policy rate could be on the table as soon as the next meeting in September.
We might see up to 2 more 25 basis point cuts in October and November. This will pump the market like crazy. We talked about this in depth in yesterday's video. Macro expert Dan Tapiro says Bitcoin's price is about to double.
When the interest rate was zero, Bitcoin was around 65,000, the peak in 21. Rates went to 5%. They're still there, and Bitcoin is now at the same price. When that short rate goes from 5 down to 2.5 or 3, Bitcoin should easily double just on that. Forget about all of the myriad wonderful developments going on chain and in this space, all the innovation. Forget about all of that. If you just look at that one measure, I think there's cause for being super bullish right here.
Reason number 2, Kamala Harris. Look, I'll be real with you. Kamala is not a crypto candidate. She really seems like she'll just be a continuation of what Joe Biden was doing on crypto.
Come on, man.
Don't forget.
If she don't hawk to her, we don't talk to her.
And that's not the worst thing ever, the enemy you know.
Why the hell would I take a test?
The reason I'm putting her as a catalyst on this list is because I think as we get closer to the election, she wants to win. 50 million US voters own crypto. She will come out and promise something positive for crypto. Now, how positive? Who's to say? It's not going to be as much as Trump or Kennedy, but even if she just says, I want crypto to flourish in America, I want crypto jobs in America, even if she just says that, that really breaks down the walls and makes crypto a nonpartisan issue like it should be. So I think when that happens, that will be a catalyst.
Dude, I love AI. That's so funny. Even though this doesn't really look like her, but it kind of does.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been, you know?
Reason number 3.
God, they're both just, I can't. This whole, like, past couple months has just been awful. Just awful.
Donald Trump.
I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin.
That was the best part of the speech right there.
And I will
Elizabeth
never
Warren.
allow the creation of a central bank digital
That's
currency.
good too.
Look, guys, Donald Trump might win the U.S. presidential election. This is significant for us because Donald Trump is claiming that he is a pro-crypto president, and he's promising Bitcoin holders a lot.
If I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%. I hope you do well, please.
That's awesome. I feel like that would be cool, right? But if it happens.
This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile.
If Trump wins, we do have to be skeptical.
really good,
What
to
will
be
he
honest.
actually follow through on? Him being a cheerleader?
Exactly, that's what I was saying. Like, if it sounds great, but like if that actually happens, then yeah, that's freaking sick for crypto. Like 100%, that's amazing.
Is good, but will he follow through? Comment your thoughts below. Either way, if Donald Trump wins, that would send crypto to the moon. Crypto businesses will flourish under Donald Trump. We talked about this in depth in this interview with DeFi Tech Leadership.
In my opinion, it's kind of a foregone conclusion. Donald Trump's going to win, and he's pro-crypto. So all of a sudden, you get the world's biggest capital market without a guy who just has a hate on for it, basically starting to embrace all things crypto. Most investors aren't paying attention to that. If Trump wins, I think you're looking at $100,000 and $150,000 Bitcoin with it going mainstream, that being crypto. You'll see institutions starting to embrace it. You got to remember, the US is the biggest capital markets in the world. Most people follow them. This is one of those rare instances where they're losing and the rest of the world is winning. You turn that table around and you're looking at massive, in my opinion, capital flows into the space.
Reason number 4, BlackRock and the ETFs. Look, guys, Bitcoin ETFs are the most successful in Wall Street history. BlackRock is buying Bitcoin. They're buying their own Bitcoin ETF. Wirehouses like Goldman Sachs just getting turned on, meaning Wall Street can finally start doing solicited sales, selling Bitcoin to their clients. Wall Street is a selling machine.
The reason for the call today, John, is
I love
something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea.
BlackRock and Wall Street will continue to send Bitcoin higher for the next 4 to 6 months and beyond. BlackRock's not getting involved because they want to make money in 4 to 6 months. BlackRock is getting involved because they want to make money in crypto in a regulated way for the next several decades.
You have been
bullshit.
a
They want to
leader.
make money now so they can buy up all the single family homes like they're already doing, which is another story for another day.
In willing to embrace crypto. You have made it so that people can be in Bitcoin. We hear that you are thinking about Ethereum. These are incredible things. BlackRock is not known as a gunslinger by any means. So you obviously must believe that this may be as an alternative. Is this an alternative in order to be able, because of a deficit, maybe something long-term people should have?
Absolutely. As you know, I was a skeptic.
Yes.
I was a proud skeptic. And I studied it, learned about it, and I came away saying, okay, my opinion 5 years ago was wrong. Here's my opinion today. This is what I believe in today. I believe the opportunity today. I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. It is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have maybe uncorrelated, non-correlated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though. It is an instrument when you believe that countries are debasing their currency, debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are. I believe we have countries where you're frightened of your everyday existence, and if you have an opportunity to invest in something that is outside your country's control, then you can have more financial control. And so I'm a major believer that there is a role for Bitcoin in portfolios. I believe you're going to see that as one of the asset classes that we all look at. I look at it as digital gold, as I said before, and I do believe there's a real need for everyone to look at it as one alternative to, I would say, the optimism that I have in the world. If you want to hedge hope, Bitcoin is not an instrument for hope unless you're hopeful you're going to make a lot of money on it. But I look at it as a vehicle in which you're expressing your financial acumen in something that you're more frightened of the world, you're more frightened of your existence. And I believe there's a great industrial use for it. And I think a lot of people are missing that.
I couldn't agree more. I changed my mind about it when you did.
Reason number...
You know what else is kind of interesting? Like, why... Like the blockchain, right? If he believes in the blockchain, or just like people that actually do believe in the blockchain, why don't they have like voting like that now? Like for the president, why don't they do that instead of having mail-in ballots that can be tampered with? I don't understand it.
5, Bitcoin and crypto explodes in the next 4 to 6 months. Wealth effect. Assuming even some of what we've gone over in today's video comes true, Bitcoin will be at 80K in no time. Ethereum will reclaim 4K in no time. And when that happens, we're going to see a wealth effect in cryptos. It's a certain stage of the bull cycle I'm talking about, causing altcoins to pump, causing more eyes on crypto. Hopefully people like us who've been in the market for quite some time get a whole lot richer. And this is something that we talked in depth.
Like it would just keep things honest. You know what I mean? D- says because they'll find a way to hack that too. Yeah, like it would just keep things honest. Like who really wins? That's it. I mean, this entire presidential this next 4 years is going to be a ride, to say the least. So I don't know.
About with Ben Cowan the other day.
I think we're getting to the final part of where Bitcoin outperforms, and I think next year you'll actually see altcoins outperform Bitcoin.
Wow. So it sounds like you're saying sometime in the next maybe 4 to 6 months is the best time ever to buy altcoins.
Well, in a more trying to think about how to say it. In a more risk averse way to say it, I guess.
You know, altcoins really rallying hard. That makes sense to me. I mean, in 2025, after Bitcoin clearly breaks over its all-time highs, Arthur Hayes from BitMEX said recently that He thinks only after Bitcoin clears 70K and Ethereum reclaims 4K, we're going to see a massive alt season. And I think we see that almost every cycle where Bitcoin breaks all-time highs. People who have been in the market for a while feel this wealth effect where it's like, well, I'm not getting the returns that I used to be getting with the higher caps. I'm going to put some of that money into lower caps. Plus, new people coming into the market are thinking, oh, I missed out on Bitcoin or Ethereum. I need to like put it in the more degen plays. And you just get this like massive alt cycle.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's honestly, it's pretty clear, right? I mean, your two last alt seasons were in the post-halving year. So this is the Bitcoin dominance yearly candles. If you're wanting alt season, you want to see Bitcoin dominance go down, right? The last time you had a big yearly candle where dominance went down was the post-halving year of 2021. The time before that was the post-halving year of 2017. You're right. I mean, you basically said it. I don't really think I could say it any better. Essentially, what happens is that people that were riding the Bitcoin train during tighter and tighter monetary policy, they know what's up with the crypto markets. But then when you get to the post-halving year and you get to looser monetary policy and all that good stuff, altcoins outperform.
Look, guys, the next 4 to 6 months are going to be epic. I think looking back, a lot of people will be kicking themselves for not buying more Bitcoin and crypto at the lows. Of course, if World War III breaks out, black swans can happen. Make sure you're subscribed to Altcoin Daily. We keep you updated on everything, and we're going to update you if anything changes for good and bad. It's just super exciting what's going on in crypto nowadays. So many great projects doing real things. Congrats to the Cardano community for a successful upgrade. We've been keeping you updated on this. Charles Hoskinson just called Cardano's upgrade as meaningful as the American Revolution was to the world. Curious if you think Cardano's upgrade was this significant, or what you think this does mean. You tell me in the comments. See you tomorrow, my friends.
Never been that case in human history, which means what we have embarked upon here today, and for this industry, and for the world as a whole, is a governance experiment that, if successful, will be as meaningful, in my view, as the American Revolution was to the world in the 18th century. It seems preposterous, but what we are doing is taking back our money, our voice, our identity, our data, and we are building the tools of democracy. We are building the tools of accountability in real time, in public. No kings, no leaders, no beneficent dictators, all as equals.
What do you guys think about that? Weird. I don't know how I feel about Cardano. I think it's going to do well. I think it's an easy play, right? I think it's going to go up with everything else. But it has been really just taking a beating lately. It's kind of crazy. Kaiser, what's up, dude? Oh, man. That kid's throwing my 8-ball. Let's see. Is Cardano going to do well? We're going to ask the Magic 8-ball. See what it says. It is decidedly so. There we go. The Magic 8-ball is spoken. All right, recap for anybody that's just joining. We got Bitcoin $58,685, Ethereum at $24.82, Solana $132, XRP at 56 cents, ADA at 32 cents. It's a steal. In my opinion, that is a steal. LTC $65. We got Dogecoin at almost 10 cents, 9.8 actually. We have Caspa under 16 cents. Time to buy, just saying. Gotta wait for the pump. We got Near at 3.86 or $3.86. Crazy, down 1.14%. We got ETC at $17, almost $18, $17.92 to be exact. See if anything changed here. Markets opened up, so things are dropping a little bit. Let's see. We got, I guess the biggest earner of the day is still Mantra, 9% on the day, 98 cents. Whiff, Dog with Hat, $1.56, up 7.4%. Interesting. Let's see. Flashbang, Fear and Greed Index still at a 26. Again, fear in the market or blood in the streets. Time to buy. My opinion. If you guys are just joining, Flux has been pumping today. 20% up on the day. 21%. It says it said closer to 25, but whatever. It's 66 cents. Anybody cares? Anybody has Flux, had a nice little jump up here. So congrats to anybody still holding it. I am not being fully. I'm not holding it, just being fully transparent. Cardano, real quick. So 32 cents as of right now. So look at we go to the max chart, right? You can see we had a run up 2017 to 2018, right? 2020 to 2021. This was actually, this was just like dead at 2021. in September, actually. Had a giant run up. So that was right before everything else. Crazy. Almost, it was over $3 though. And it's down 89%. Anything that's down 80% or more is an easy play, in my opinion, to at least 2x your money. At least. Guys, do what you want. Do what you want. It is what it is. But that's what I look for when I look for coins. Like Litecoin, another one that's down over 80%. 100% buying that. 84%. Caspa, I'm into that only because this one's never seen a bull market before. It's still semi-new, right? Let's go to, when did it come out, actually? 2022. So it was after the bull run, right? And it's been on a uptrend ever since. And to be honest, that's a pretty confident chart in my opinion. So that's why I'm heavily invested into Caspa. But literally, any of these other coins you see about 20% down, Near's another one that I'm buying actively, 81% down. It just makes sense. That's the easiest way to make your money is on coins that have been around for a while, have had, you know, they've had run-ups in the last bull runs. It's just, I don't know. History tends to, I guess, rhyme, right? That's what I'm doing. How is FTN doing? FTN? I don't know. Fast token. That's right. You told me about this one. Fast token. Max chart. Yeah, look at this. This thing too. 2023 January. This thing's been on a steady climb up. It's at $2.50. Shout out to you, Fully Electric. Perfect. Freaking Hadouken there. That's crazy. Crazy. 7 days ago, it had an all-time high, $2.60. I don't know anything about this token, to be honest. I don't, but I knew it was making money. Good for you, dude. It's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I do, man. I look for 20% or more down. I mean, sorry, 80% or more down, where, you know, it's just an easy get your money. ETC is another one. 89% down. Yeah, I'm investing into this one. Why not? It just is what it is. I mean, I don't pick too many coins, but bought a handful of coins. I do the 80% down, you know, or more, and it works out for the most part. All right, anyways, guys, hopefully you have a safe and happy Tuesday. Today's my kid's birthday. I'm gonna be enjoying it in Chuck E. Cheese, so I gotta take him there in a little bit. I gotta go get him dressed and stuff. Tomorrow I don't know if I'm gonna stream. My kid starts kindergarten, my daughter. Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a day, so I don't know if I'll have time to stream. I might have to deal with getting her ready and figure out the schedule in the morning. Once I do that, I'll be back to normal kind of ish stuff on Thursday. But yeah, I might have to be super early before school or after I drop her off. It really depends on what time or how busy I am. Anyways, guys, have a good one. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and peace out. Enjoy your day.
She don't talk to her, we don't talk to her. Perfect.
Eat shit, Gary.